Hi guys, so I'm going to show you how to make the matcha latte. This is our first video latte tutorial because it's a lot more involved. So we got some new equipment in. First we have our matcha sifter. Over here on the left side of the bar we have a matcha bowl and also a matcha whisk on a matcha stand. So the first thing we want to do before we make a matcha latte is we want to put our whisk into the bowl of hot water. So I have hot water in the bowl, about 2/3 full. And we're just gonna leave it in there to kind of soak up and prime while we prep the rest of our latte. Okay, so first for our latte, we're gonna make a hot matcha latte. And so we're gonna do a 12 ounce. And so for the 12 ounce, the first thing that we're gonna do is we're going to sift our matcha. So we're gonna measure it and then we're gonna sift it. So for a small matcha latte, it's gonna be 2 grams of matcha. So I'm gonna measure with, and we also have this little bamboo spoon, the matcha into the sifter. 2 grams. A lot goes on the spoon actually. It's just about 2, I feel like. So 2 grams into the sifter. And then to sift the matcha, we're just gonna hold the sifter in one hand and then take our other hand and tap it against the sifter into the mug and sift the matcha into the mug. Okay, now that it's all mostly sifted, I have a little bit left, but that's okay, we're just gonna pour it in. And then we're gonna go over to the hot water tower and get a little bit of hot water to go into our mug. We're just gonna do a splash of hot water, just enough to cover up the powder. So, as you can see, that's probably about enough. Okay. So now I'm back over by the whisking station, and I am going to whisk the matcha. So take your matcha whisk, and then you're basically just gonna whisk it up into the, get some of that off the edge, into the mug for about 15 seconds until you see it kind of froth up and get well incorporated. And you can just take some time to scrape the sides too. Sometimes it gets a little messy. This is a very concentrated powder. So we're gonna just mix it until it's in a little good incorporated with a froth. Okay, so now we have our matcha whisked, and so we're gonna add our honey. So for a small, the recipe is 0.75 ounces of honey. So I'm gonna tear the scale and change it to ounces. And then we're gonna do 0.75 of honey. Okay. Now that we have it all whisked and the honey in, we can mix it, and I would be mixing it with the spoon, but our spoons are in the not the laundry, the dishwasher. So we can mix it. Now we're just making it like we would a normal latte. So I'm gonna go ahead and steam my milk. For a 12 ounce. See what we can make. Okay, so now we're ready to finish our latte. And we'll pour some art. So matcha lattes you can get some art in this, which is very exciting and very aesthetically pleasing. Whoop, whoop. Also, something to be aware of is when sifting, if you kind of get it outside of the mug, like on the edges you can see here, and then here on the other side, it kind of left some residue. So we just want to try to keep the matcha inside of the mug as much as we can when sifting. Now I'm going to show you guys really quickly an iced matcha latte. So we are going to measure 3 grams for a 16 ounce of matcha. Oh, but it's on ounces, so I'm going to switch back to grams. About like a good sized scoop is a gram. Got a little extra. We do want to try to be pretty precise with this, so we're gonna scoop out the extra. when you want a certain amount. Okay, 3 grams. So next step again, I'm just gonna sift it. And sift carefully just to avoid those edges, which is almost impossible. So you might just have to wipe off the edges too. So just wipe that edge. Okay. Back over here to my hot water, and as you see, I have an 8-ounce mug. So for an ice drink, we're not gonna keep this mug after we whisk it. So I just took an 8-ounce mug to whisk it this way. Oh, and then so my whisk was on the stand over here, so I'm gonna get it a little bit wet and then go ahead and whisk it about 15 seconds until it's thoroughly incorporated and fairly frothy. So that's the consistency that we're looking for. So I'm also gonna put my matcha whisk back in the hot water after I whisk it. We don't wanna leave it in there all day, just like for a little bit, just to get it rinsed, and then you can, when you're all finished, put it back on the stand. So now that I have my matcha mixed up, I'm gonna get a cold glass. We'll do a 16-ounce glass. And first I'm gonna pour the matcha in the glass. And we can also then just rinse this matcha on our pitcher rinser, the matcha mixer, and keep it over here on the left side of the bar to use again. Then we'll measure our honey into our glass. So it is 1.25 ounces, and oops, there we go, ounces. Okay, so about 1.25, I went a little over. All right. And then we're just gonna do it like a normal latte. So go ahead and mix your honey into the matcha. Mix well. Add our milk till it's 2/3 full. This is such a pretty drink, and is really refreshing for the summer too. So I'm not going to show you guys this in video, but we also have matcha lemonade, and we do the first step exactly the same. The measurements are a little bit different though, so look at the recipe. And my ice is way over here, so I'm going to add ice in it. Thank you, Allie. So the matcha lemonade, the matcha amounts are a little bit different, but same concept. Mix it, pour it into the glass, and add your lemonade and ice on top. So now we have our matcha latte.